Hey guys, welcome to CAD Recaps. The story begins with Asheen, a sweet girl who lives alone, but she has a painful past, as her mother was accused of cheating on her husband, and he thought that Asheen is not his daughter, which made her mother to throw herself from the window in front of her eyes, and of course her father abandoned her a long time ago. Then we see Ling, who works in his father's company with his two brothers. We see him in his car when two men started chasing him, and in his try to escape, he found out that the brakes of the car doesn't work. Then he hit a huge rock and fell to the water. At that night, Asheen was delivering a package, when a guy suddenly appeared to her out of the water, and of course, Asheen couldn't stop the motorcycle, and she hit him. Asheen was terrified, and she quickly took him to the hospital, and when Ling woke up and saw her, he looked behind to see the men, who were chasing him. So he quickly hugged her. Asheen thought he was a perverted guy, so she slapped him, and he lost consciousness. When Ling woke up, Asheen was surprised that he didn't know who he was. Then the doctor diagnosed him with amnesia. Asheen felt guilty, she thought this was because of the accident. Then Ling asked her for a compensation for what she had done to him, so Ling told her the compensation he wants is to stay with her in her house, until he gets his memories back. Asheen refused, but then Ling started to count the hospital costs, and he demanded her to pay. So, Asheen did not have any options other than taking him home with her, until he gets his memories back. Indeed, Ling went with her, and he seemed not happy with it, as her house is too small and simple. Asheen was worried of him and his intentions with her, but she didn't know he did all this just to hide from people who were chasing him. The next day when he got up, he found Asheen had prepared food for him. And she also left him her number, in case he needed her, but she later regretted that, as Ling was literally calling her like every second, and every time with a new disaster he did. Once he burnt the microwave, then he broke a very expensive bottles, last of all scaring a child in the Central Park. Asheen was done with him, so she started searching for his family, and when Ling knew, he took her phone before she posted his photos online, as he knows his family is searching for him. Asheen wanted to take it back, but she got too close to him, and she felt shy. Time passes, and Ling gets used in living with Asheen, but he never gets used to this house, so he one day broke the kitchen's water tape, and he put a towel on it thinking that he fixed it. But when he woke up, he found the house was flooded, and instead of doing anything, he slumped in on himself. When Asheen went home, she was shocked, and before she yells at Ling, she found him trembling, and she knew he had water phobia. And to take him out of this, she put her headphones on his head, to calm him down. Then she started shutting off the water. In this moment Ling felt a strange feeling towards her. He kept looking at her, and was getting shy just to be near her. One day they was in the street together, and a ball was about to hit him, before Asheen stops it, but her hand was wounded, so Ling started healing it. At that night, he asked Asheen to help him taking a bath, as his leg is broken, and indeed Asheen did, but when he leaned on her shoulder to get up, she fell down to his lap. Asheen felt shy and got up quickly. And Ling was pretty sure that he now loves her. Time passes until one night he saw her getting out of a man's car. He wondered about him. And when she entered the house holding a large bouquet of flowers, he couldn't bear feeling jealous, but he didn't let it show. Ling was afraid of just imagining that Asheen loves this man, whom he didn't know he is her boss. So Ling tried to get closer to her, so he gave her a ticket to the cinema. But in that day Asheen was late at work, and when she went to the house quickly, he wasn't there, so she hurried to the cinema, to see him still waiting for her. But the movie was already ended, so as a treat, Asheen bought him a ticket to another one, and he was very happy with this. The next day, Ling went to his own doctor to check to his health. And when Asheen woke up she didn't find him. She felt worried, so she roamed the streets looking for him. And fortunately, he saw her, and when he knew she was searching for him, he felt happy. Asheen was standing in the amusement park and calling him out loud, and Ling then appeared, and he told her he was just taking a walk. Asheen took him home, and from then she knew she loved him too. After several days at work, Asheen's boss tried to be closer to her, and in order to get rid of him, Asheen told them at work that she has a boyfriend who is abroad by this time. But her friends, and to celebrate her, they decided to invite themselves to her house, and of course her boss was with them. Asheen tried to evade them, but they insisted, so she had to send a message to Ling telling him what happened, and asking him to leave of the house until they leave. But when she arrived, Asheen was surprised by him standing in elegant clothes, and preparing a luxurious dinner table. He received her happily, saying that he just arrived, and he'll stay with her from now on. Asheen's friends were stunned to see Ling, who seemed to be very rich, especially after he gave them gifts of expensive brands. Asheen felt happy in her heart and wished that Ling would become her boyfriend for real. As for her boss, he was shocked and angry, especially when he saw how handsome and rich Ling was. He went mad to the extent that the next day, he locked her in the warehouse and turned off the lights, and he tried to assault her, but Ling had felt that she was late, so he went to her, and fortunately he was able to save her from him. Ling carried Asheen home, and started taking care of her. Then he decided to take revenge on her boss, so he asked the owners of the company in which he works to dismiss him from work, and they of course did.
And when her boss learned this, he went crazy, so he kidnapped Asheen.
Ling knew she was late again, so he called his business manager to come with his car, to help him search for Asheen. And when Ling was with her in the car, he saw Asheen's boss in his car with her, so he went to him, and he was able to catch him, and this time he decided to beat him hard.
But boss also beat him until he lost consciousness.
Quickly Ling's business manager delivered them to Asheen's house. Asheen was wondering about their relation, but Ling evaded the matter, because he couldn't tell her that he didn't lost his memories at first. But the next day, when she was in a hotel delivering an order, she saw Ling going up to one of the rooms, and then saw his business manager going up behind him. Asheen thought he was cheating on her. She tried to go up behind them, but she couldn't. As for Ling, his business manager was preparing him for the company meeting. And indeed, Ling went to the meeting, and met his father and his older and younger brothers. Ling's older brother was preparing himself to get the president position instead of his father, but when he found that Ling had returned, he was shocked, and Ling gave them papers proving that Fang had tried to kill him, in the day Asheen found him. Everyone was shocked, even Fang, who tried to deny, but their father believed Ling, as he knows that Fang hates him because he is adopted, and not his real brother. Ling's younger brother, who always loves Ling, yelled at Fang, and he tried to apologize for Ling instead of him. And when Ling came back to the company, he was very busy to call Asheen or meet her. And all that time she thought he left her for his business manager, but who relieved her was her brother, who came back after traveling abroad. He begged her to come back to their house, but she refused. Her brother goes to his father and begs him to let Asheen live with them, but the father, who still thinking she is not his daughter, refused. His son asked him to at least let her attend his birthday party, and he agreed. So he took Asheen to the party, and there, Ling's elder brother saw her, and he knew her identity, that her mom was his father's old friend, and his father made her a shareholder with some shares with her name in the company, as a thank for her dead mom who was always helping him. At that time, Ling saw her pictures in the party. He didn't know the guy with her was her brother, so he felt jealous, and he decided to go. But when Asheen was in shock to know his identity, and that he was not amnesiac, she was very angry at him. And when his brother saw that he went to her asking for a dance, she went with him just to get away of Ling, and when the brother knew that she knows Ling, he told her that he was just using her to take his shares in the company. Asheen was not knowing anything about those shares, but all she knew was that she was broken of what Ling made to her. Then Asheen passed out, and Ling harried to her, refusing to let anyone carry her but him, and he took her to the hospital. There, Ling tried to reconcile Asheen and to tell her the truth, but she refused. Then his father called him, and asked him how he knows his old friend's daughter, so Ling told him that he met her by chance, and stayed at her home to let no one knows he is still alive until the right time. After that, Ling tried to convince Asheen of the truth, that he was not taking advantage of her, and that he really loved her, and after many attempts, Ling confessed his love for her. And indeed, Asheen believed him and their love story began. But after a while, Asheen and Ling were kidnapped, and they did not know what was happening, but they were surprised Fang had entered the place, and saved them. Ling was amazed that his brother had saved him, and asked himself about who had done this from the beginning. If not his elder brother, so they decided to put a plan together. Which is to announce the death of Ling and Asheen, of course, with the help of the elder brother, and he was watching everyone, until he discovered the shocking truth, which is that, their younger brother who was pretending to love Ling, was the one who ordered their killing, and that he was the one who tried to kill Ling at the beginning, and he faked evidence against their Fang. That's why Fang was trying to deny that he tried to kill Ling, but no one believed him. After that, the brother recorded their younger brother's confessions. And on the day of his induction as the company's president, Ling, Asheen, and their elder brother came out in front of everyone, and they played the recordings in which he confesses his attempts to kill Ling, which made them shocked. But the younger brother told him that what he was doing was no longer useful, as he now owned most of the shares of the company. But he was surprised by his father, Fang, and Asheen, that they sold their shares to Ling, and thus, their shares became equal, and also all the company's managers was with Ling, and of course, because of his confessions to attempting to kill his brother, the police arrested him. As for Ling, he took Asheen to the amusement park, and there, he gave her the engagement ring, and confessed his love to her. This is all for today's video. If you like it, don't forget to hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel.